Nine's on your way tomorrow night with the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. But anyway, this is 5 tight ends I'm going to start, and the first one's TJ Hockenson, a guy I've been talking about a lot this week. And why not? This guy's a top 5 tight end, I think, the rest of the way here is Hockenson. I said to go out there and get him, and if you did, or if you had him the whole year, good for you, because this guy, he's putting up elite tight end numbers for a very weak position in fantasy football this week, and once again this year, and once again this week, he has a great matchup versus the Minnesota Vikings, is Hockenson. And now, with no Kenny Golladay there, and the Lions trailing in a lot of games, he's going to be Stafford's go-to target after coming off a 10-target, 7-catch for 65-yard game. So Hockenson, he's got a good floor and a high ceiling too. So expect Hockenson to get you anywhere from 10 to 15 points. So he'll be my first start. The second guy I'm going to go start is another guy I mention a lot on this channel, and people are starting to catch on, it looks like, in fantasy leagues, and that's Logan Thomas of the Washington football team. He's coming off of 2 great tight end performances, and then he had the bye in week 8. And once again, he's got a good matchup versus the Giants. And in week 6 versus the Giants, he had 3 catches for 42 yards and a touchdown, which made him finish the day with 13 fantasy points. So Logan Thomas, I'm going to say he's going to put up similar numbers this week versus the Giants. We saw Rob Gronkowski come off a 15-point game last week versus the Giants, even though, come on, the Gronk's better than Thomas. But anyway, Thomas, he's been having some good games with Kyle Allen under center. He's got a good schedule coming up. So yeah, go out there and start him. He's only owned in 26% of leagues, and that number's got to go up. So start Thomas. The third guy is Evan Engram, the New York Giants, a guy I was down on for the last few weeks, but now he's back into the fold as Engram, and he's got the 3rd most targets in all of football in the tight end position, and his last 2 games have been very solid for Engram. 11 points in week 7, and then last week versus Tampa Bay, he had 10 targets, which is great target range for him, especially a tight end. The Giants, you know, they're going to be trailing in a bunch of games. They're 1-7 on the year. Engram and Slayton, their 2 main targets. Now with Barkley not there, these guys have been getting his targets that he would get in the backfield. So Evan Engram, go out there and start him. He's got Washington and Philly coming up, and then a bye. So he's got 2 good matchups in the next 2 weeks. And this week I could see Engram with a 10 to 15 point game. The next tight end is another guy. He was on my list last week, and he's going to be there once again till I see him more being played, and that's Hayden Hurst of the Atlanta Falcons. Hurst in his last few weeks had put on good performances. The last 3 weeks, this is scores 15, 12, and 10, and now he's got a Denver Bronco team that can't cover nobody, it seems like. So it's indoors, he's at home. They don't got to travel to Denver, and I could see Hurst getting you anywhere from 10 to 15 easily this week at the tight end position. And the guy is a guy you might have missed the boat on, but I've been talking about him last week. I had him in my sleeper video, is Eric Ebron, and I had him in as my top tight end to add in Ebron. But anyway, Eric Ebron versus the Dallas Cowboys is a start. Ebron, he's still out there surprisingly in 52% of leagues, and that number's got to go up. He's got a great matchup. He's had a pretty solid few games. His last 2 games versus Tennessee, he had 11 points, which was 6 catches for 50 yards. And then last week, 4 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. So Ebron, he's getting some decent target looks with 5 and 4. But this guy, he's got great talent. He's in a great offense where he's going to have single coverage all the time as Ebron. So fire him up this week versus the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to have a good game, and I could see him have a monster game, actually, too, 15 to 20 points. So that's 5 tight ends I'm going to start here in week 9.